get started. So overall, I think Superman and Lois does justice to the Superman character. Now, a little bit of history, if you haven't seen one of my previous videos, I mentioned that the CW had butchered, completely jobbed out, disrespected, spat on the Superman character that Tyler Hoechlin played, and they jobbed him out to Supergirl, a derivative character of Superman. Yes, Supergirl is a derivative character, basically a female Superman, right? Uh, within the comics, he's his cousin or whatever, okay, but we know within the context of our real world why Supergirl was created, along with Batgirl and all the other girls, the exception obviously being Wonder Woman. Now, in Supergirl, they first episode he was introduced, they showed him respect, it was awesome, but then after that, if you watch, they start to job him out. So for those of you that don't know what being jobbed means, it's a pro wrestling term, which basically, if you want this one of your stars, right, to look good and strong and unbeatable, you get a scrub to fight them, and they get destroyed. That scrub gets destroyed to make your star look good and strong. So the scrub jobbed to he did a job. He lost to the star, right? And so being jobbed out means that Superman was jobbed out to Supergirl to the point where you had, in the crossover, you had the other characters in the Arrowverse say that they prefer Supergirl Kara over Kal-El. And then you had Superman being hypnotized in that one episode in Supergirl, and he fought her, and at the end she's like, "Oh, you were, I only beat you because you were mind control." And again, they could have left it at that, but the writers intentionally put in dialogue, specific, explicit, no denying, of Superman saying, "No, Kara, no. I was at full strength when I was mind control. You beat me at full power." It was so cringe. And then they give him other dialogue like to Kara, "Oh, the world doesn't need Superman. I'm gonna go raise my kid on that, freaking floating spaceship that your mom's on. I'm gonna leave Earth. And you can be his true hero." Like, oh my god. You talk about mansplaining? You talk about mansplaining? I'm being quieter because the AC just turned off and it's night. You talk about mansplaining? This is like not womansplaining, but more so erasing Superman to basically make Supergirl Superman, right? Giving him all his villains, her being the hero of Earth, taking Superman literally out the picture. It's so insidious and disrespectful to Kyle Hoechlin that most fans, didn't like his Superman. They also didn't like Lois Lane, and she was very annoying. She didn't have good material. It was just cringe. So going into this show, I had my doubts. I know some of the trailers had me a little bit worried, what have you. But after the fact, after seeing this show, I have to say they actually managed to redeem Tyler Hoechlin's Superman. You get Superman, all his basic characteristics in Tyler Hoechlin. He's respected, he's a big deal, he's powerful, he brings hope, he brings inspiration in people. He isn't disrespected by every other character. Lois Lane does not have to deride Superman or Clark Kent to make herself better. She can stand on her own. She doesn't have to get Kryptonian powers or knock out the bad guy with the kryptonite ring to show how muscular and manly she is. Superman can't do that. She does her reporting thing, and that's that. And when she looks strong, she looks badass, it's being Lois Lane, using her reporting skills, using her intelligence, her quickness, pressing that little red button to get Superman there to beat up some of the more heavyweight fighters, like, with superpowers and so forth throughout the series that you'll see. Now, in terms of their kids, at first Jordan, who is the younger brother, and then Jonathan, who is the older brother, Jordan was a little bit annoying the first couple episodes when he finds out his dad was Superman. He was all moody when he got his powers. But they actually managed to make him have character growth as a result of his powers. He actually matures. He gets less annoying. He gets less emotional. His Superman gives him the Superman speech about how Superman has to control himself all the time. He's always angry, and that character change stays so that when he develops new power like freeze breath, he calls his dad to help him instead of just swinging out. If this was typical CW writing, typical nonsense like you see in the Flash with this dumb writing, the idiotic choices. We are the Flash making Iris. It's horrible. Um, he the character growth actually changed. Jonathan, his older brother, it's just he's the best. Poor guy can't catch a break in the show. He has one thing. He loses his football career in Metropolis because he moved to Smallville. He loses his girlfriend while his brother becomes a star for a short time in football and becomes a bit more, you know, gets powers while he doesn't have powers. But the way he handles it, he's there for his brother. They have each other's back. Anytime they fight, they make up. Jonathan always takes the higher road. Like, oh my god, this is the quintessential Superman son. And Lois Lane, she doesn't have to say we are Superman like Iris does. Iris, and the writers have done injustice to Iris and made her only valuable in the sense of having powers like the Flash. Lois Lane doesn't need Superman's power to have validation or strength as a woman. She can stand on her own 2 feet. She's true strength, and she complements her husband, and her husband complements her. They have a mature relationship. None of this drama nonsense that CW spurs up, this toxic relationship you see on Arrow, um, and the nonsensical, cheesy crap you see on The Flash. They actually respect each other. They have disagreements. They make compromise. They admit when each other's wrong. The woman actually admits when she's wrong, unlike some of the other woke shows that won't do that for the life of them. Make all the men look stupid. Superman admits when he's wrong. Superman argues back and stands up for himself and convinces Lois. You have all these situations. So they respect the character. The writing is excellent, top tier. The cinematography, the imaging quality, the lighting, everything, the graphics, CGI is so good compared to The Flash, which looks like it's some cheaply made show, for kids, right? Like some 90s show. So, some type of, I don't know, like, what do you have? Those Japanese shows, for Sentai is something. But anyways, they have great writing, and even the villains are multifaceted and complex. You get introduced to the Stranger, who turns out to be John Henry Irons, but at first you think it's Lex Luthor from another Earth because the computer he talks to calls him Mr. Luthor, and then the twist you don't see coming at all. It's a complete mystery, but it's also so clever and smart usage of comic book characters with a good twist. Even Morgan Edge, after the Stranger kind of becomes anti-hero on Superman's side and so forth, because on his Earth Superman became a bad guy and destroyed the Earth or whatever. And we get more into that. And he was married to Lois Lane on that other Earth and had a daughter who helped him build this thing. So he's really has out for Superman. But eventually, he comes to Superman's side and they fight Morgan Edge, who's, and then that had me worried. Like, oh my god, so he beats him. Is Morgan Edge going to be interesting? He's just a dude. And the twist with him is so intelligent, right? Morgan Edge ends up being an original character called Taro. And then he becomes the Eradicator. So he's like a combination of actual Morgan Edge and Eradicator from the comics, which is super intelligent. And he's an original character because he's Taro. He's a Kryptonian Superman's half brother, because his mother had a husband before Jor-El. And even the husband for Jor-El thing is done in such a respectful way, and his mom is done in a respectful way. And the twist with him, like, it's tragic. Like, his story is super tragic. Taro's story is super tragic. I'm not gonna say too much on it. Y'all can watch it by yourself. And I just watched episode 14, which ended on a cliffhanger. I can't wait to see the final episode. It's really good. But the fight scenes are really good. Every episode gives you a shot, or every episode gives you some moment that just makes you like, wow, they respect that character. Wow, this is such a mature character. Wow, I get that. Not everything about this show is great, but it's like a 90% in my book, a 9.5 out of 10. This show, and it hasn't disappointed so far. It is so good. The writing, the characters are mature. They're realistic people, which is, I'm assuming it's more HBO Max, and the fact that they didn't have the crossover with Supergirl that they had planned. I hope to God they don't do these crossovers, but they probably will. I beg the writers to please don't destroy the show by including Flash or Supergirl or any of these people, because they're just going to destroy your show unless they can write them really well and redeem them, But please, guys, for season 2, after next week's the final episode of season 1, make season 2 good. Don't ruin it by including these CW characters, because these shows are going downhill. The time for those shows are over. Now we're into this new era of superhero TV making, like Stargirl, Superman and Lois, Titan season 3, those types. But this show does justice to Lois. She stands on her own 2 feet. She doesn't have to be we are Superman like Iris. Superman is respected. He's hopeful. He has sons that have their flaws. Well, Jonathan, he's perfect. Jonathan, oh my goodness, Jonathan is awesome. He is quintessential Superman son. Jordan comes into his own. You have the villains. You even have the people in Smallville. I almost forgot. Lana Lang and her husband, another original character. Normally in the Flash, these just random characters that they introduce. I don't care, like Allegra. I don't give a crap. They're boring as hell. And at first, he turns up to be a jerk. Kyle, who's married to Lana. But then you even eventually understand him. You start liking him as a character. Like they make you care about this guy, and they represent the quintessential normal small town family. And his daughter had a thing with Jordan, and then they become friends, and now they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And now they're trying to move out of Smallville because people blame them for Morgan Edge because Kyle was the one that can help convince the town to accept Morgan Edge because Morgan was trying to help the town and they were dying in terms of economics and jobs and so forth. So like even families like that eventually became interesting. This is how good the writing is. And again, there's respect between when they talk to Clark, they don't have to deride Superman or deride the man. The women are actual women. They're actually strong. They can stand on their own 2 feet. They don't need to deride or denigrate other characters or the opposite gender like in some other shows. And they have their own thing. They don't need validation through having the same thing as the main character like the Flash does. Everyone freaking has the speed force. It's super annoying. Like how the hell does? Anyways, sticking to this show. So overall, I love this show. I think it is one of the best, if not the best, Superman adaptation on TV. I still like Henry Cavill's a bit more for what it is and the story it tells and Man of Steel, but like I said, this is close. Like I could switch this Superman and Henry Cavill's back and forth easily because I really do like it. And Tyler Hoechlin is a great Superman. Lois is a great is a great Lois Lane, and even her father, General Lane. Like you would think a guy like him would be used to like to make Lois look like the feminist queen or whatever, but no. Even when she's against her father even has crazy character growth. Starts to care more about his family instead of just his military crap. He still has his flaws, and we have moments even later on, like in this episode 14, where he's like, Lois, like, look, before you were on me because I care more about the world than the man. Now I'm trying to care about the family. You stole it. I'm like, there's no winning with you. And Lois is like, Dad, I'm sorry. And like Lois actually admits fault. She realized she kind of messed up. I mean, it doesn't change her position of what the context of that scene was, but she understands. Like she empathizes with her dad. She respects her dad. She doesn't just bash him as some meathead military man that needs to be bashed by her, slay queen. Freaking no, she's nothing like that. Lois is respectful. I don't know if I'm missing it. I'm probably missing a lot. But anyways, this show is great. I love this show. Superman is I just hope they don't ruin it. I just feel like they're going to because it's associated with the CW, even though it's HBO Max funded as well, and because they're gonna include Supergirl, and I guess that show just destroys Superman. I hope they keep Supergirl far, far away from Superman, guys. Anyways, guys, please leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe to the channel. Leave a like if you enjoyed my discussion. Sorry if my voice is not very animated. It's night, and I'm just doing this impromptu after watching this episode. It's so hype. At the end of this episode, the Eradicator, aka Morgan Edge, who Taro, I think is gone. He became the Eradicator, and now he's putting different Kryptonian minds in people, and he kidnapped Jordan and put a Kryptonian mind, his father's mind, in Jordan. So we're gonna find out what happens next episode. So please, guys, watch the show. Leave your thoughts below, subscribe, leave a comment, help me reach that 1K sub so I can get monetization, 4,000 watch hours. Yeah. So guys, have a good one. Thank you guys for listening. Peace.